I thought this descriptive information about Korean Protestant Church in New York, New Jersey area may be helpful to Korean pastors, but very few Korean pastors come here. Well, I think like Professor Jerry Park, if they make multivariate analysis using large data set, it's very effective for making causal analysis. But I haven't done that much. Usually, I use a lot of numbers, but very much descriptive information. And always I focus on Korean community in New York. So many articles, book, Korean community in New York. And sometimes it has some advantages. A lot of speculation, but very useful information you can provide by focusing on particular community. And I will talk about Korean Protestant churches in the New York, New Jersey area, and with the focus on their social, cultural, social service function. And of course, I have done papers, article, and book on this issue, so it's not new information, but I try to update information by interviewing many pastors until yesterday morning. Yeah, so you will find some new information. We start with the religious population in Korea according to Korean census. This is the way. In 203, Buddhists make up 25%, Protestant about 20%, Catholic 7.4. This is a survey of social indicators, but census data show actually Catholic about 10%. There is a difference, yeah. And right now, I think Buddhist 26%, Protestant about 22%. Still, Buddhist compose the largest religious group. But when you put Catholic and Protestant, they outnumber Buddhists in Korea. Yeah. This is a survey, based on survey conducted. I see here. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Now, let me see. Growth and decline in the number of Korean immigrant churches in New York. This is very interesting. First church was established in Manhattan. Korean church in New York, 1903. It's very old, very nationalistic churches. Center of independence movement, anti-government movement during the military dictatorship period. Yeah. And after 1965, many Korean immigrants came to New York, and you see a gradual increase. In 1973, 11, 84, about in 10 years, 156, and then 93, about 380, 202, 521, 206, 564. And I didn't put here around 2010 big decline, particularly during the recession period between 2008, 2010, a lot of decline. And then right now, 415. Yeah, huge drop. And you know, it's easy to explain why. First of all, large mega church observed so many people, and many small churches based on social network and friendship. Now they cannot do that. not many immigrants are coming. And right now, most immigrant, annual immigrant, 80% came here before on another status, mostly student. And they don't have to go to church. They don't have an adaptation program. Or, employees of Korean firm, they change their status. And now, many new immigrants get, professional job. And, earlier, they had the immigrant package. And even, pastors picked up them from the airport to help them. But right now, they don't need these services. So immigration dropped, but also new immigrants don't need church services. So right now, it's very difficult to find. Yeah. Now, I already showed this in the morning. Yeah, Korean immigrants show exceptional frequency in church participation. I will talk about 3 social cultural functions: fellowship, retention of Korean culture, and social services. And really, more than any other Protestant group, Korean church provide all the services for church members. They treat all church members as a 성도, so family member or friend. And as I said before this morning, they have a church directory distributed to all members, and there is a telephone number, address, and family members' name, and they can contact other members very easily. And when I studied the Shinkwang Church here, pastor gave me that book, so I called elder, whoever I want to interview. It was much easier because of directory. Yeah. Exceptionally frequent participation in church facilitate close friendships among members. So they go to church 3 times, twice, and there are so many committee division or based on age. They have a evangelical group, many other Korean language school teachers. All these network, they have to see a lot. And most of all, they have that district meeting at home, at private home on rotation. And usually 7-8 family belong to one cell group. And they have little service and long fellowship. So, people who belong to that same district, they have a lot of, services giving back and forth together. Whenever they have any problem, they will recommend a lawyer or whatever, counselor, and I think strong ties, yeah. Yeah, and of course the Korean church usually provide free lunches on Sunday, and they have long lunch hour, fellowship. And when I studied there, I ate and I interviewed, the pastor, turning around, shake hand, ask about what happened last week. American church don't do that, yeah. Age group, district, neighborhood, yeah. Church members have a biannual retreat, annual athletic activity. Many churches have a recreational facility, like a ping pong table, and at night they enjoy there. And they often go to Korean restaurant together after service. Some pastors say, going to restaurant on Sunday is not good. To remain secular, don't go there. But I think many other churches go together. And they say, when they go with a non-church member, they drink liquor. So they say, I cannot make a friend. and usually they have a close friend out of their church member. They play golf together. Everything they do together. So strong that fellowship. Now, retention of ethnic culture. Korean churches celebrate major holidays, New Year's Day and Chuseok, and many women wear traditional 치마저고리 Korean dress. And on New Year Day, they give deep bow to elderly members, and they give a quarter. In Korea, they give money. So I saw that in Shinkwang Church I studied. They give quarters. Yeah. They celebrate national holiday like March 1st, Independence Movement Day. I attended New York Korean church in New York. That's very liberal church and very nationalistic. The Independence Day song, 4 different phrases. First time I sang four different, and even they use drum, very nationalistic. But most other churches don't like that. The church I studied, Shinkwang Church, even don't sing that independence song because it's not sacred. To be nationalistic is against the sacred. Yeah. So I think again there is a tension between Korean nationalism and Korean Protestant church. It's a Western church adopted in Korea. So they cannot be, it's not different from Indian Hindu temple or Jewish temple or synagogue. There is a limitation because it's not, maybe one Buddhism is more with the Korean culture, but no Korean food or others folk culture has been incorporated into Christian rituals, even though they incorporated Confucianism and shamanism, praying for good luck. Other things, singing, dance, nothing. Buddhism incorporated Korean dance, song, everything. But Korean Protestantism hasn't incorporated. That's why on New Year Day, they celebrate Korean holiday. But that Korean holiday is not Christian holiday. There is a big difference. The small church celebrate elderly members' birthday, even children's birthday. Korean church teach children respect and obligation to their parents, filial piety. Not only in Korean language class, but Sunday school they emphasize. Parents' Day, they make them write letter to parents in appreciation of something they received from parents. And then adult members pin flower on elderly women on Mother's Day. So somehow, they try to revive their Korean filial culture, filial piety culture in the U.S. Limitation of cultural retention. They discourage too much celebration of Korean culture and Korean nationality for the church to remain sacred. Tension between Korean and Christian identity. I interviewed Korean Christian Protestant immigrants, and about 45% said being Christian is more important than being Korean. They are very religious, even first generation. And I asked about their children's marital partner, and about 40% say definitely they want to have their son's wife who is Christian, even if she is not a Korean. And being Christian is very important. Second generation, 75% say that, even more important. Yeah. So even in immigrant churches, because they are very evangelical, there is a limitation in being too cultural, too ethnic. Social service, I think, here I have new information. As many people have indicated, Korean Protestant offer money to church a lot. Many, they, offer 10% of their earnings, as the Bible says. So I think large churches have a lot of money. They can spend for the Korean community, but they spend most of the money for their church members and then missionary activities, particularly for international missionary activities, and helping members in the Korean community and other social causes for larger society. They are very stingy. And PCUSA, again, I introduced survey data, but Kwang Jung Kim, Korean professor, analyzed that survey data. And he found Korean Protestants spend money. How much?
5 minutes left.
Okay. Korean Protestant Presbyterian spend money for social causes, least among four groups: Korean, Latino, white, black. And they spend less time for social issues, more time for church, and spend more money for church. And I think there's a big difference. Yeah, so I think here they are very stingy in spending money for social justice. Whether evangelical Christianity contribute social justice, I presumed, but recently, I have to be very objective, following data, and I think better than that. So here, of course, when you talk about services, services to church members through elders and pastors, direct help. Small church, even they pick up a new immigrant from the airport and help them with the social security, application, and take them to school, renting, finding job. These are individual help. But large church provide services through different programs, including Korean language school, after school program, Sunday lunch, emergency funding for the unemployed, scholarship seminar, health clinic, wedding, funerals. But all these are related to missionary activities, so there is a limitation. Their more important goal is to make them to their church members. Social service to Korean community large society. I showed this, that 1997-99 survey, and Koreans spend time least among 4 Presbyterian groups. Korean Protestant churches have greater fund by virtue of great amount of offering by church members, but they spend their fund mainly for the welfare of their own church member and missionary activity. Compared to their great fund, most Korean churches are stingy about helping people in need outside of the church. Nevertheless, several large churches have elderly and other welfare programs for their neighbors and Korean immigrants in New York. First of all, Council of Korean Church Greater New York, that's an umbrella organization, established the Korean Youth Center of New York to provide services to children in trouble. In 1989, they established. It has provided other community-wide services depending upon special need in particular years. When they need a special need, they have to send the money to Korea, problem, then they raise a fund. They don't have a lot of fund, but in time of need, I think they raise it. I cannot say, they don't do anything. I think we have to recognize that. Now, this year, first time New York Mosaic Church selected 11 Korean social service organizations, gave each $1,500 and gave scholarship to 4 students and 10 children household head from Korea. Our center was selected and I went there to get the fund. And I thought this is very liberal, social justice oriented church. No, this is very evangelical church. They are all dancing and singing. 2 hours I have to watch that. Yeah. But I think so. This is a very conservative evangelical church. But also, according to the Bible, you have to love your neighbors. So really, they want to practice that first time. And I hope they will continue to do that. Yeah. I think this is the only church that try to spend money for larger Korean community. And hopefully more churches will follow this. There are 18 Korean Protestant organizations that combine mission activity and social services. Here you have many, this is all mission oriented. Yeah, and I think I interviewed New York 선교사의 집. I interviewed this person, and Pastor Bob, he helps about 10 homeless people. He doesn't have much budget. His wife makes money for him, and he doesn't have any salary for the services. And he said these people can die if they don't have a shelter like his. They are sick, they are hungry, they have serious trouble. And 10 people stay in his rented house, and he paid $2,600 rental. And then that's about $30,000 per year. Then he has to cook, help. But he doesn't have a $50,000 fund. And I asked why he cannot ask Korean Council of Churches. They should help him. He said some church and that organization gives some money, not enough. I think they should, he should get grant from other organization. So I plan, maybe our staff member can help him to write grant. He doesn't know those things. Really, he is doing nice things, and it's not easy. Sometimes, like a 29-year-old woman coming, and she needs a separate place. So he has a lot of difficulty. He asked me to visit there and help him. So I think Korean churches should help him. But as I said here, about 12 Christian organizations, they are doing very good things, like disabled children, 2-3 organizations helping disabled children. And, it's a tough job. They don't have a lot of money. And I think Korean Council should spend more money for these organizations. Yeah. Thank you.